Today I'm going to show you how to take your white paper from your journal and turn it into this sort of brownish or tan colored paper. So when you do it, it might be pretty light or it might be fairly dark depending on how much coffee or tea that you use. In our class we're going to be using coffee, but if you do this at home, tea works just as well. So in order to make this, the first thing I need to do is gather my materials. I need to have my journal papers. I need to have some coffee. I need to have some scissors. And just to make sure that everything stays nice and neat, I need to have a pan to put everything on. And then I got these pieces of wax paper so that my pages don't stick together and they have a place to dry. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut my pages. You might have already done this, but if you haven't, you're going to fold them in half and then cut along the line right there. You'll notice that this one has a space in the bottom, so I'm going to cut it just like I did the other ones, but this portion right here, the bottom half, I'm just going to recycle. Okay. The next thing I need to do is I need to crumple each of these pages individually. The tighter you make it, the better the coffee will be able to soak in. Okay, so now I've crumpled all my pieces of paper, and what I need to do is open them up so that I can spray them. This is a good time that if you feel like you did not wrinkle it enough, just go ahead and ball it up again. Okay, the next thing I need to do is get my tray and my coffee and my pieces of wax paper. Just going to put this here and spray on my coffee. I want it to come out more like a spray. There it goes. And you might protect it and spraying around and then turn around to the back. Be careful when you pick it up. Once it's wet, it is pretty it's fragile, easy to break. I might get a couple more sprays in there. I want it to be fairly wet because I want mine to look really dark. So then I'm going to lay out one piece of wax paper. Again, be really gentle at this point. Lay it on your wax paper. And then I need to put another piece of wax paper on top so the pages don't stick together. I'll do my next page. I noticed I tore it there whenever I was crumpling it. That's okay, but I just need to make sure I'm extra careful so that when I'm flipping it over and I'm putting more coffee on it, it's not going to tear even more. Wax paper there. Another piece of wax paper. Now I'm finished with the actual spraying part. The next thing I do is I need to put this somewhere where it can dry. The best thing to do is if you could pull them apart and just have them laying on, actually I don't need a top piece, laying on a drying rack or on a shelf or something where they can dry, because if we leave them all together, it's not going to dry properly. So if you can, when you put on the drying rack, try to take these apart so each one is laying on its own piece of wax paper. Make sure on the bottom you have put your last name with a page number before starting this process. If you haven't, I would probably use a pen or pencil and scratch that out and then put your last name and the page number, because once we have all the students' papers on the drying rack, it's going to be difficult to find out whose it is if it says, if it has no name there. Good luck on your journals.